Thank you to Brad. Welcome. It's great to be back in Chicago. I'm here with my 9-year-old daughter, Ava. We've been here for a couple of days enjoying this great city where I used to live as a reporter. And it's just always great to be back. We have a lot of great stuff to talk about tonight. I remember that Socrates campaign. That was something to cover. That was amazing. But we've got new campaigns. And you know, there's something that Brad talked about that I really agree with. And it's why we're drawn to the idea of being stimulated by ideas, probing ideas, hopefully being inspired a little bit. Because gatherings like this get us a little away from the reality of what we deal with in politics and in America's role in the world, which can often be undermined by the dysfunction in government, by politicians who appeal to the lowest common denominator and don't often inspire. So we'd like to go higher. We'd like to be inspired by our public figures and by the direction of the country. So we're going to talk about a few different things tonight. We are in an election season, which is certainly on the minds of folks in Illinois and around the country as the midterms approach, but we're also thinking in the political business about a presidential cycle in a couple of years that will really be here in 5 minutes and really never ended since the last election in our political media. But we're thinking as well about what America stands for right now, America's influence and role in the rest of the world. What is America willing to fight for? What is America willing to invest in at a time when we're deeply reluctant about projecting American power and American resources in the American military and parts of the world that may need that power and influence because of the turmoil there? But we're in a political state right now where we're reluctant. We're reticent about our involvement, and the whole world is watching and judging and requesting. And here at home, I always like to look at our politics through the lens of our president's leadership, the left-right divide in the country, and the future of the opposition party, in this case, the Republican Party, which is going to be an interesting story, not just in the next few weeks, but as we get into the presidential cycle as well. But this is the kind of the grind of politics. This is the practice of politics. What I think Brad and the organizers of Chicago Ideas want to get to in a discussion of political ideas is the stuff that I hear as I go and speak around the country when people say, why is it that politics doesn't work? What's going to break this impasse? Why is the media so polarized? Why is politics so polarized? Why can't they measure up to the challenges that we face as a country? I think we're going to talk about that tonight because I think that's important. Who's being attracted to political life today? What does government do well? What doesn't it do well? I have to have one digression here. I just learned, I have 3 kids, my oldest is 12. I learned about the Illinois law that only allows one non-relative in the car if you're a young driver. I think that's the greatest law I've ever heard of. As a parent, is that just not the greatest law? And I'm thinking, that is, I mean, these are politicians who are actually thinking about real problems that we face as parents. We don't want a car full of 16-year-olds in the car, you know, endangering themselves, texting and God knows what else. That's a good law. So what does government do well? And when does government get in the way? And when does the government hold us back? Those, I think, are interesting questions that we should all be thinking about as we think about politics.